Hello, welcome to LADA Life. I'm Linnea May Huxford, and today I want to talk about the mental health stress from diabetes. So with diabetes, every time you eat, you have to think about diabetes. If you use insulin, you might need to give yourself an insulin injection. This is not a positive thing, and no wonder why people can get anxious and depressed and maybe even have eating disorders from diabetes. I put in my book, Success with LADA Diabetes, a quote from somebody that said, even if I'm eating fruit, I need to give myself an insulin injection. And then I got some feedback from somebody that said, especially if you're eating fruit. And like what? Fruit is supposed to be good for you. It's supposed to be full of vitamins. Have you heard the phrase, eat the rainbow? And yet if you have diabetes, your body, depending on the type of diabetes, type 1 diabetes, your body is not producing enough insulin, and the treatment is insulin, which is often an insulin injection. And so this is an unpleasant connection between food and an injection. And then there's the question, did you get the insulin injection correct? Or even if you don't use insulin to treat your diabetes, you might be using a CGM, and you might be seeing, depending on what you eat, how many carbohydrates, your blood sugar might go way up. And then you might be like in this mindset, oh no, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have eaten that thing. And then if you do give yourself an insulin injection and you give yourself too much insulin, you get this like double punishment where first your blood sugar goes way up. Okay, let me step back. I guess the double punishment is actually you give yourself too much insulin and then your blood sugar goes way down, and then you need to eat more sugar stuff to get it back up, and then it goes way soaring up. So then you've got this roller coaster, and this is so common. And then an easy mindset to get into is, well, if I just don't eat, my CGM shows a pretty flat line. The problem is when I eat. What could go wrong with mental health there? Tell me all about it. How about the joy of eating? How about comfort food, dessert, having fun with friends, saying, yes, I'd love to try that thing you just made. So the mental health impact on diabetes is huge, and we definitely need mental health support to tell somebody every time that you want to eat, you need to count the number of carbohydrates and give yourself an insulin injection. That is asking for mental health problems. That is a big part of why I switched to an insulin pump, because insulin pump, I do not have to give myself an injection. I push some buttons on my pump. There's no pain, there's no needles. It's an expensive solution. But if you can afford it, an insulin pump also allows for fine dosing. And the best insulin pumps today are semi-automatic, meaning that they are connected to a CGM, and there's this looping system, and it will actually estimate how much insulin you need. And if you start going up high, a lot of the insulin pumps have these automatic adjustments that helps you get off this roller coaster, and it's not all on you to figure out the insulin dosage all the time. So there's this roller coaster that comes when you eat food, because it's very hard to get the insulin dosage correct all the time, depending on what you ate, how long it takes for digestion, how long it takes for that insulin to start working. You could go low, you could go high. If you go low, you need to treat the low. You eat something with sugar in it. If you eat too much stuff with sugar in it, then you go extra high. Get off that roller coaster. How do you get off that roller coaster? Personally, lower carbohydrate diet and insulin pump. That's how I do it. But still, even today, there is mistakes all the time. But really, we should not call these mistakes or punishment. This is the very, very tricky reality of living with type 1 diabetes, or any kind of diabetes where you're giving yourself insulin. And even if you have type 2 diabetes and you're monitoring your blood sugar with a CGM, and maybe you're managing your diabetes with medicine, exercise, and diet, still you can feel like you made a mistake, right? When it goes up high and you really didn't mean for your blood sugar to go up high. And then maybe you need to go exercise to try to lower it. But if you do too much exercise, you might end up low. So food can be such a reward, right? Comfort food, food with sugar in, it makes you feel good. But you don't want to start rewarding going low. But when can I eat a cookie? Right? I want that delicious cookie. Well, I could give myself a little bit too much insulin, and then when I sort of go low, eat that cookie. it's really not what I want to encourage, right? The best way to really get off that roller coaster is to not go low. And insulin pumps connected to CGMs can do a great job of not going low. Before I had a CGM, I'd give myself an insulin shot. And then I'd be really nervous and anxious after dinner. Am I going low? I'd have to check my blood sugar. Sometimes I was going low after dinner and I'd have to eat more. Maybe dessert, but if you want it, but really a dessert often has fat in it and stuff and won't raise your blood sugar super quick. So usually something like juice is going to solve the low faster. But it's very easy to overeat or to reward the low, where you don't really want to reward the low. You just want to enjoy life, right? So type 1 diabetes, LADA diabetes, it is serious implications on mental health. And I have done other videos about the stress of diabetes diagnosis and what you can do to try to calm that stress, because it's also, once you get stressed out, you get all those stress hormones going, and then it's harder to treat the diabetes because of insulin resistance from the stress hormones. So it's all combined. It all goes together. If you're saying no to yourself, if you're telling yourself not to eat, that's a problem, right? You need to have things you can eat to satisfy hunger that aren't going to raise blood sugar. And then you need a plan for all this and buy stuff at the store that is going to be easier on your blood sugar, right? And then it takes a lot of planning, and maybe you really don't want to eat cauliflower mashed potatoes. Maybe you love mashed potatoes, right? I certainly love potatoes. Maybe you love rice. There's a lot of great carbohydrates, bread, that are very comforting, but they make managing diabetes really challenging. And there are all kinds of tricks. Maybe exercising after a meal can help out. But all these things you have to learn your own, you have to learn for yourself what works for you. And you're going to be different from everybody else. And you need the support and the understanding of this challenging condition that you did not bring on to yourself. There is a huge increase in diabetes. Post-COVID, there's evidence that COVID has caused some incidences of diabetes as well, as that's going up. The food, a lot of food we have has a lot of carbohydrates in it and a lot of processed food. So you can name all of the potential causes of diabetes, but it is certainly not something you brought on yourself. If you're dealing with LADA diabetes, check out my book, Success with LADA Diabetes, Achieving Optimal Health with Diet, Exercise, and Insulin. It's a journey. It's well worth it. It's well worth taking care of yourself. And there are benefits, because when you start taking care of your diabetes, that self-care, it tends to expand into other areas of your life, and it can be really positive and life-changing. But people are not talking enough, I think, about the mental health support. And to have any doctor say, okay, count carbohydrates and give yourself insulin and do it 10 to 15 minutes before a meal, that's not enough. What are you planning to eat? How much are you going to eat? There's a cartoon I saw that that said, "Are you hungry?" And the person went and they looked at their CGM. "Oh, am I hungry? Oh no, my blood sugar is high. I'm not hungry." Now that's not the way to live your life either, right? The hunger, you can be hungry and have high blood sugar, and you need to satisfy that hunger. Hunger gives you energy. The food gives you energy. You need protein. Protein is great for stabilization of blood sugar. Anyway, I'm probably rambling now, but if you're interested in this topic and you'd like to support mental health support for people with diabetes, please comment, like this video, and subscribe, and we'll see what we can do. Thank you.